And we should be live now.
Oh my goodness.
We are so back at 7-Eleven sharp.
Back in action. Right on time.
As usual.
As always. We are
At
live
content
with the I'm at the coaches for this one. This isn't a normal weekly stream, alright? This is the awards.
Oh. I think it should be season 4 alumni now.
There is still a role for season 4 coach, so it hasn't been updated yet. At least that's what I'm gonna ping.
Okay.
Unless there's another one, I don't know. It's possible that each of the division ones are now on.
Yeah, the divisional ones
but
are
the whole like season 4 coach role is still the same, so that's what I'm gonna use.
Yep.
I'll ping that and content time just to be safe in case you like cleared it from people's.
Get
voice.
everybody
Well, that
in
sounds
here.
great. You know what? Just add everyone at this point. No, don't.
Yeah.
You know what's funny though? I think some people have specifically at everyone and at here muted though.
Yeah,
So
it's
we
actually
probably have-
better to do the roles.
Yeah, we probably have a higher outreach if it's just you know what? Just go and tag every single person individually.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't think
They
that would make
need
a
to see
difference.
this. The people need to know.
I don't think that would make a difference because the mute button is the same toggle for role and specific mentions. It's just
Yeah,
one
but not
switch.
everybody has the season 4 coach.
Oh yeah, in this particular case, I guess it would make a difference
Yeah.
if you want to do everyone like that. I thought you were saying like
Every single
like
person.
at each person instead of like as even better than the role tag. But if anyone
No.
has that muted, they would have both.
Like at Ethan's mom.
Yeah, I can do that one. Here, let me.
Yep.
let's see. Oh, she left the server. I guess she doesn't really like.
What? Yeah. Sounds more like my dad, honestly.
What the hell are we yapping about?
Yeah. Anyway, we're back.
We haven't even started the awards and we're yapping already.
We are
What do you think the
back.
sharpest like pace emoji is?
The sharpest bait? I
Yeah.
think there's a knife.
Yeah, you can do knife. That works. Because I searched beak. Didn't see a beak. How about the sword that shows up for knife for whatever reason? We'll do that. There you go. I'm just very limited in what I can post in the YouTube chat.
True. Okay, so what have we got cooked up today? The thing that's definitely on time and not 3 months late.
We were waiting for the Cast Form Cup to conclude.
Oh, yeah. Well, what's
That's-
cooked?
That's why. So we have the awards, and you guys, might even be more fun for everyone because there's no way everyone remembers who they voted for on these.
Nope, we'll be reminiscing a little today.
Yeah, so there might be some surprises in here.
Season 4 was a lot of fun, and it'll be good to go back and remember just how big of a demon some of these mons were, and how funny some of the sets that got cooked up were, and
I'm gonna
all
have to
that
remember the fact that it happened at this point.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like the first category that we'll have coming up here, which I guess we can get started with here. The first category we have is the most valuable captain.
Okay.
And I know for me personally, this is the last time I've played in a league with Terra captains in it. So it's like that's another thing that's like we're
True.
talking about forgetting about what some of the menaces were. It's like I forget that Terra entirely was a menace.
True, very true.
Because Castform didn't have it. So, but anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here with our most valuable captain award. And the way that these are gonna be broken up is that we're gonna do a category and then all 3 divisions before we move on to the next category. So you will see each of them for the category at the same time. So first off, we have most valuable captain in our Truant division.
Truant division, that's me. We have. Hold on, let me open up my cheat sheet. It was actually a very close vote. I know that last time the Truant division captain had a vote, it was completely one-sided. And you will see the thing that it was one-sided for in the previous season is also on this list. However, this season it actually goes to Lethal Blues Metagross. Lethal Blues Metagross.
There it is.
There it is.
I had to flip back to this
Do
tab.
we, I forget. Do we have the second and third slides too?
There's no slides for the follow-up ones, but I was thinking that since we have them all on the sheet, if you want to read them off, we can do that for each one as well. At least for these categories.
So Carnivores Gyarados is 1 vote behind Metagross. And I know that season 3 it was the captain to beat, claiming all of Carnivores KOs. It was just shy of its performance in the previous season, and also just shy of the victory here for the vote. But honorable mentions in third with a couple of votes each also go to Bobozab's Iron Moth, Sweets' Thunderous, and Stormtide's Hisuian Quillfish.
All right. Next up, we had the Swarm Division, and in first place here with 7 votes, we had a 2-way tie. We had Impulse's Aegislash and C2's Heatran. So both of them got 7 votes each. And Heatran also was the KO leader for the division. So that info, if you're looking for like KO leaders and differential leader, that information is all still on the season docs. So you can see it already pulls that information. They're all listed there.
True.
But I figured I'd point it out if we have a leader on here as well. And Heatran, of course, was the KO leader for this division. So
it makes sense that it got a lot of votes.
For sure. And the runners up here were Afonso's Archaludon in second place with 5 votes. And in third place, we had a 2-way tie with 4 votes of Terrakion, which was Royce's, and Landorus Therian, who was Stella's. So.
Hell yeah. Good to see Aegislash up here. It's after I drafted it in season 2, I believe. I was convinced that it was a fraud. And a relic of the past, kind of a victim of power creep, but yeah, good to see it doing well.
It got nerfed a little
I
bit,
remember,
too.
Yeah, I remember Impulse doing some kind of cute things with running gems. I think he ran a fighting gem once or something.
Yeah, he ran fighting gem CC on it.
Yeah, to then immune a poltergeist or something later on. I think there's a lot of really cool tech that Impulse ran here, so yeah, it's good to see it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Up next, we have our Hustle Division, and the Hustle Division was very, very one-sided in the votes, but I think everyone kind of knows where it's going. The winner of the Hustle Terra Captain MVP is tied between Overmat's Thunderous Therian and Fennec Master's Landorus Therian. Both of these mons were insane demons. They picked up sweeps and just big KOs. They were both in the top 3 of not just the Terra leaderboard, but the overall KO leaderboard as well. Both of these mons got 9 votes each, with Quaquaval, Rillaboom, and Thunderous each getting 1 vote, and those were the only Hustle Terra votes.
Yeah,
there is no third place. There were 0. It's the only category on here that has NA for one of the slots because there just wasn't any.
Both these coaches showed absolute dominance with these mons, and the league took notice.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting too, we had some discussions with the roster reviews about the Terra Landorus Therian, and it ended up getting tied for first place here in Hustle, and in the last one we had it tied for third in Swarm. So the Terra Lando T is actually, put in some work put in some more work than I think some of us, at least on stream, were expecting.
Yeah, agreed.
So next up, we're moving on to the next category. It's a dynamic duo. So we're still in the realm of Terra here, but this time it's specifically looking at the pairings on each team and how they kind of synergize together, covered each other, and whatnot. So
yeah, there's definitely a little bit of overlap between the categories. A lot of the time, you'll see Pokemon that get voted as the most valuable captain also just happen to be in a good pair. Definitely carrying the pair, but there are some that might surprise you that they worked really well in tandem. So without further ado, the Truant Division winners, Dynamic Duo, is in fact Lethal Blues, Metagross, and Incineroar. And I don't remember, Lee, you'd have to fact check me here. I don't think Incineroar ever Terra, did it?
Off the top of my head, I don't think it did. Lethal Blue was in chat earlier. Maybe he can correct us.
He can
but
confirm.
I'm pretty sure Incineroar kind of threatened Terra the whole time. Metagross was kind of picking up KOs and
Yep, having Intimidate
terrified
Terra
something.
Maybe. But having Incinerate, oh my god, Intimidate, Incinerate, having Intimidate on a Terra Captain is just always good, especially when it pivots around. So it can skew prep in that way, and it honestly doesn't even really need it. You could try and pop off with like a setup Flame Charge Terra set, but yeah, it was definitely Metagross pulling a lot of the weight with Incineroar skewing some prep. He did bring Terra Fighting once, gotcha.
Did he use it though?
Once again to lethal.
Did he use the Terra, or did he just bring? I guess if he brought Terra to any game, that Incineroar came.
Yeah, he
brought Incineroar to any game. He brought Terra.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too with Incineroar specifically, he has that kind of like awkward typing for a defensive mon in this setting. That yes, he has weaknesses, but he doesn't have the first weaknesses that you think of when you think of some of his types. Like he's a dark type that's not weak to fairy, which is usually a big one if you're looking at like who's your dark resist and who's going to counter the dark type. So it's pretty important in a bug type that's a dark type that's not weak to bug. It's really the dark typing that changes that up. So threatening Terra for a mon that has like kind of specific weaknesses that you have to be ready for to begin with, you might bring that extra rock move or ground coverage that you wouldn't normally bring because of the Incineroar that could then just Terra off of that. So that's a pretty big opportunity cost in some of those cases for a mon that's not even going to Terra. So I like that as a low tier Terra option that doesn't Terra much, because that threat is actually pretty big for a defensive mon like Incineroar that's just going to keep coming in.
Yep, I agree.
But did you want to read off the next couple ones in there as well? And we can do that up until we get to the tier leaders.
Yeah, so the next tandem, actually with just one fewer vote, was actually Sweets' Thunderous and Rhyperior. I think Rhyperior has really proven itself to be a strong low to mid tier captain.
For sure.
And having a fast electric type that gets extra coverage to be ground types is always good. So Thunderous is also proving itself. Congrats to Sweets there for the second place duo. And in third place, we actually have tied two ways. We have Itsuki's Raikou and Sinistcha, and Tilted Tony's Koquevo and Shaman.
Nice.
Yeah,
all right,
so there we go.
Moving on to the Swarm division for the tandem. We have in first place another Swarm tie. This way, I guess it's a 4-way tie, but it's really a 2-way tie. We have... Oh, that's right. I split them up because I couldn't fit 4 of them on one screen. So this is one of 2. These are both first place. So one of 2, we have Aegislash and Suicune, which were impulses. That's with the 5 votes there. And then the next 2 that were also in first place with 5 votes were Metros, Mamoswine, and Mesprit.
Let's go.
So just talking about both of them, we did see the Aegislash win in the previous category, so that's another carryover there where it makes sense. I was a big fan of the Mamo Mesprit duo.
The Terra Grass Trailblaze, the Toady special.
Yeah, that was all me. But it actually was kind of fun to like, throw some YOLO ideas together. Like it's honestly Mamo's a mon that you really can just kind of throw some stuff together with as Terra. And then obviously the Levitate Terras are always just insanely broken. I feel like they've always proven to be really good. Too. So
even Mamo having thick fat is very good too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, any type resist or immunity with Terra just changes a lot, and that's why Rhyperior in the last category as well. Is another example.
Solid Rock, Lightning Rod.
And then we have, this is like Swarm is so packed with these. I actually don't know how there were this many responses with this number of votes. Wow. So there were five votes each for first place. With 4 votes each, we have a 3-way tie for second. With Terrakion and Chandelure, which were both Royces. We have Skyhops's Pecharunt and Snorlax. And we have C2's Heatran and Porygon Z. So there's the Heatran again. And there is the Terrakion, who got third place in the solo voting again. We are in second place, and we have already 5 duos of Pokemon here, and then
there's 10 Pokemon before third place.
And then in third place, which is only 1 vote less, with 3 votes, we have another 3 duos of Lee's Urshifu and Jellicent. We have Afonso's Archaludon and Ludicolo, and we have Roy's Zeraora and Cradily.
Let's go.
So
okay,
that's
about half the Terra Captain duos.
Yeah.
In the division.
I guess Swarm just did well picking their Terra Captains this
Yeah,
season.
and I think
duos, guys.
I think I got 0 votes. So
I don't even know what your captains were.
Well, on the poll it was the second 2 because I changed them literally like before the last game. So, but there were a lot that had none. But then it's like they were all very condensed on these 3 on these couple ones. So next up, Lee.
In the hustle, we have another bit of a landslide for first place, but we actually have a third place this time. So in first place, receiving 9 votes, we have Riceman's Ogerpon and Moltres Galar.
Let's go. I like this combo a lot.
I did too, even when Moltres didn't quite pull its weight for him. I think he was saying a couple times in endgame lobbies that Moltres wasn't hitting hard enough, but
yeah.
I think the threat's just good enough. Like, Berserk's crazy. Terra Blast with that perfect coverage is going to be crazy. And then Ogerpon, what the hell of a Pokemon.
Oh, but it can only be grass type, so actually it's not very... Yeah, shut up.
So I'm just not remembering the tier list. Which of these is... Are either these low tier, or are they both like mid-tier Terras that are around equal points?
I think Ogerpon's like 15?
I'm pretty sure it's like a 15 and a 10.
Okay. So, and Ogerpon's the more expensive one.
Yep.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Because it felt weird calling like Moltres a low tier
yeah,
Terra.
Ogerpon
like,
at
I feel
14,
like it's still pretty good.
Goltrez 11. 14 and 11.
Okay. So pretty close, but still, yeah, it's good value out of those.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the runners-up were closer. In second place, we had Fennec Masters, Lando T, and Ursaring, receiving 5 votes. And with 4 votes, we had Monkey Boys, Quaquaval, and Snorlax.
I think he actually carried Snorlax too, didn't he? And that's another.
Yeah, and it lost.
That was the one. That was the one where he got he got burned or something, right? Or like what was he shouldn't have Terran, whatever it was.
It was like week 1. I can't remember it.
Yeah, but I liked the combo. I think I actually voted for that one because I still thought it was a cool combo.
I see Terra Quaquaval voting Terra
successful.
Quaquaval. The mon's crazy.
Yeah, it's real good.
Yeah.
Terra plus Aqua Step equals good.
Yeah. And Moxie. The Moxie Terra Captains. That's the Gyarados again.
Yeah, Gyarados, Salamence. Yeah, they're all good. Even just Beast Boosters too.
Yeah. All right,
okay,
so
on to our
next category. We have the most valuable Mega. So these are your Mega Evolutions. It's why we play Nat decks.
Yeah, so in the Truant division, I'm not surprised by this pick at all, but if you were to look at a tier list before a season and say, yeah, this is Generation 9 where Megas are available in Nat decks, surely Hi Guy's Mega Manectric won't be number 1 on the list, but you would be wrong. It is, in fact, Kai Guy putting up the numbers with Mega Manectric, and you really ran show with this. It put in a lot of work.
He put teams through the blender with this thing.
Yeah, I do think that with a little bit of scouting, people would have noticed that he always clicked Toxic the first turn that it came out. But regardless, I think it's always good.
Welcome to Nat decks.
Yep, welcome to Nat decks. Toxic on the electric types to beat the ground types. No ground type is safe. Yeah, losing hidden power after the restriction and obviously it being just banned in NBA. Usually Manectric would just be the laughing stock of the Megas. But yeah, it really put in a lot of work. So good job, Kai, and good job using your Manectric.
All right. Next up, we do have.
Oh, there are the second.
Right. Yeah.
Fergor.
I won't spoil the next winner, so you can go ahead and read it.
Yeah, well, it was a landslide for Manectric with 7 votes, and then in the second place, it was a 2-way tie with 3 votes with Stormtide's Mega Charizard Y and Sweets' Megalopony. And in third with 2 votes, we have Carnivier's Mega Beedrill. So a lot of these, I'd say second place is the least surprising here with Zardwai and Lopunny.
Yeah.
Beedrill and Manectric, though, being in the top is actually pretty crazy. So congrats to you guys for showing off what they can do.
Awesome. So now Swarm, for real this time. We had, for once, not a tie for first place. This was with 7 votes. We had Royce's Mega Garchomp.
My boy.
And Mega Garchomp, another mon that sometimes we might underrate a little bit when we're going over rosters. It's people say it's worse than Garchomp because it's, I guess, worse at the things that Garchomp wants to do sometimes. But don't underestimate it. It's still a really good mon, and it put in some work after Royce hopped in this season for sure. And even if some of that was kind of what regular Garchomp wants to do, like sweep him with Scale Shot. So that was with 7 votes, and in second place, not too far behind, we had, with 5 votes, was Afonso's Mega Swampert. Mega Pert in the rain, always going to do some work. So not a super huge surprise there. And of course, we did have a tie in third place. With 1 vote each, we had Impulse's Mega Dancy and Hal Falcon's Mega Tyranitar.
Yeah, that T-Tar put in a lot of work for the first few weeks when Falk was going on a tear. I think he went 4-0 at the beginning, right? Running Dragon Dance Mega T-Tar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Over in Hustle Division, we had a tight running for 1 and 2, and squeaking out with just 1 more vote than second place, taking the best Mega spot. We have Overmat's Mega Aggron.
Wow.
This isn't a surprise that Overmat picks Mega Aggron, and Overmat does very well with Mega Aggron. It's just kind of he's kind of really showing off what it can do, and I don't think a lot of other players can do what Overmat does with Mega Aggron as well. It's just kind of really fits to his playstyle.
Yeah, just like how he uses Rhyperior, he's used Terra Rhyperior. He has it in the PGP right now, actually. He's used it one previous season. I think he had it in
the King Gambit season, yeah.
Yep, he had it in a previous NBA season, and we also drafted it for Glum on our PGA team as well. So he has a lot of experience with this and Rhyperior, which honestly are pretty similar mons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy got 9 votes for best Mega. In second place was Sweet Sorrow's Mega Lopunny. And in third place with 3 votes was Polito Shark's Mega Garchomp. So Mega Garchomp breaking the top 3 in 2 different divisions.
Yeah, and Lopunny in second place.
Oh yeah. Lopunny too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trends.
All right.
So congrats to the valuable Megas.
Next up, we got our most valuable supports. So supports were always kind of like a hard to define category. It was always kind of listed just by feeling, just seeing like what kind of fits here. Because there are mons that sometimes like could be a support mon, but the person always ran it offensively or always did whatever. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Yeah,
like Starmie, for example. If you're just always running like T-Wave Rapid Spin Flip Turn, for example, it's kind of a support mon.
Yeah. Or like Rotoms are also a really good example. Like some people will play them way more support oriented. Some people will play it a little more mixed, in which case it's really hard to decide if they should be being voted against supports. But sometimes they'll just always do choice sets, and it's like, all right, well, they're not really supporting that time.
Yeah, but I think part of that flexibility lends itself to being a good support.
Yeah.
And if you're not dead in the water in more matchups, right, where you can lean more offensive, then I think that just makes it a good support mon. Like, I don't think anybody would doubt that, like, Slowbro is a support Pokemon.
Right.
But can it set up Iron Defense? Yeah, and it can sweep through teams with, like, Calm Mind or Body Press.
And Clefable's another one, too, where Clefable's like always a support mon, but it can top the KOs as well.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, in our Troon division, we have, once again, Kai Guy at the top. Oh, wait, I'm looking at the wrong division. Oh my god, I'm looking at the wrong one. We have Sweets' Corviknight with 6 votes.
Oh, you were looking at the Megas.
I looked at a different
I thought you were looking at a different
the
division.
previous-
Where did you get Kaigai if it's a different division?
No, I looked at the previous division.
Mega
So we do have
Manectric!
tweets
He's
here.
back!
Manectric doesn't go away.
Hey, he has
Put
Intimidate.
Toxic.
He's a support mon. Intimidate, Toxic, that's support.
Oh.
He's- yeah, we got Sweets'
Corv is one of
score.
those mons too, right? Where it's not just defog U-turn bot, right? It can set up bulk up, iron defense, taunt, even. Well, taunt is support, but
Yeah, it's fundamentally a support / defensive mon, but that doesn't mean that it can't do things offensively, and that's also part of its threat.
Yep. So yeah, congrats to Sweets in second place with just one fewer vote at 5. We have.
I gotta advance the slide.
That's okay. We have Tony's Petulant, which I'm a big fan of Petulant. Really been a big believer in it lately. And just under that, we do have Kaigai's Tinglu.
Kaigai,
So-
there he is. You
Yeah,
were
I
just
found him
reading
again.
third place. That's all.
Yeah, I was reading third. I wasn't reading Mega Manectric.
So next up in the Swarm division, you're not going to believe this, but there is a tie for first place. This time it is between Afonso's Pelipper and Metro's Mesprit, who is, of course, a Terra Captain as well. The support category was a category where we decided that Terra Captains would be legal here, while they're excluded from the tier voting normally. But this is the only one that got it here in Swarm.
Yeah, I think having Terra on a Pokemon opens it up to becoming a better support than it normally could.
Yeah.
So just like Mesprit, right? Like it can be a just fine support mon as it is, just as a regular psychic type. But being able to swap matchups and do its job better, I think you shouldn't take away from the fact that it can do that. So yeah, drafting specifically Terra Mesprit means that you have that in mind and go for it. All the power to you.
Yeah, and we also, with this category specifically too, like, we don't necessarily, you better check that, we don't necessarily want to kind of like shoot a low tier Terra in the foot, where it's like, oh, this is my low tier support mon that I'm clicking Terra on once, but it does its job every single game that it needs to come to. Then it's like, oh, cool, well, now you can't vote for it because it was a Terra Captain. So I feel like support's one of those categories where, like, sometimes those lower tier mons get a little more of a shout out here. And so that's also another reason why we like to keep the Terra Captains legal here. And Pelipper, of course, is an example of kind of what we were talking about just before, where it's like, it can be a really offensive mon. You can run Specs Pelipper every single game in your Rain, and he's going to be good. But also, when you're a Rain team, he's the most important support on the team for setting that Rain. So that's why he also qualifies here as a support mon, but you know that he's also putting in some work on offense as well.
Not even just the support, it's the entire team's enabler.
Yep.
The team doesn't function without Pelipper. You can click manual Rain Dance, but yeah, it is the core of the team, and it led Afonso to a very successful season. So I think it is very deserving of the win here.
Bonus points for also being hazard control, which everyone needs as well. So,
I had an idea though before we talk about the next ones. We should let Toady always have Terra Wigglytuff, but restrict the support category so that it can't be voted on for Terras. So
that's fine, because if I have Terra Wigglytuff, I'm running Specs every single time.
Specs Boom Burst?
Well, yeah, Specs. Wait. It has to go against the Intimidate teams, though. So then I run lead, competitive, Specs.
Boom Burst and Moonblast, right?
Right.
Well, see, that's the problem.
Anyways, I'm for some reason the one bringing up Wigglytuff. All right, what's in second and third?
Second and third here, with 4 votes in second, we had Lee's Wheezing, Galarian Wheezing, which put in a lot of work. Like this is like tough competition here. I think that Wheezing also could have won this category. Like it was just so solid for teams. And then in third place we had, with 3 votes, a tie again. Between Fair's Zapdos and Skyhop's Slurpuff. Slurpuff being Nahyma's favorite Pokemon.
Wrong. This is actually, 2 Pokemon that once again could just be offensive Pokemon. Like, set up Slurpuff and just offensive Zapdos very obviously viable.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't really always run in that case, so yeah, I think they're good votes.
Yeah.
And
Zapdos
Weezinglar
really depends
is
on the context of the team.
Weezinglar is just the best Pokemon to draft. I'm just saying it now.
It's
It
so
is
good.
so good.
Well, both Weezings. Like Weezing is such an underrated.
Okay, hold
Mon in
up. Base Weezing is nowhere near as good.
It's not as good, but I would think that it's like for the tier that it's usually in, it's still like a really good Glumon for a lot of teams.
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely good as like a low tier mon to lean on in certain matchups.
Yeah.
Weezing is just a lot more viable, or a lot
the
more
fairy
reliable.
typing is huge.
Yeah. Defog, aromatherapy.
Right.
Anyway.
All right, in Hustle Division, there was a lot of competition for the best support, but winning in a landslide. There's only one true crown for the king here, and that is, of course, Riceman Slowpoke.
Big Slowpoke.
I think this came to 2 games in the regular season, maybe 1. Hang on, I have the doc open. Let me take a look.
What's funny is I think this is the second most votes that a Pokemon gets in the entire poll.
Yeah, Slowpoke made it to 2 games, and
yeah,
it came in the playoffs too. I'm pretty sure
it came in playoffs as well. Yeah, and it did a lot in 2 games.
Yeah.
Also,
it was actually really
Nahyma,
funny.
that statistic that you gave, you'll find is quite funny when you find out who the most votes in the entire poll was. But we'll get to that later.
And then, so Slowpoke ran away with this with 10 votes. In second place, at 5 votes, is the much weaker Slowmon, Overmatched Slowking.
Get off the stage!
That's a chilly reception. And then in third place with 3 votes... In third place with 3 votes was Alice's Alomamola. I always stutter when I say it, so I had to take my time.
Sorry, I bought you some time with my laugh. That was a good joke, dude.
I'm chock full of them.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, sorry, man. Yeah. Wow, 3 water-type pivots.
Look at that.
3 bulky water types, yeah.
Well, 2 bulky water types and a Slowking.
Yeah.
Dude, shut up. Don't let him know. Don't let him know Slowking folds.
Well, next up we have our tier leaders. I'm wondering, do you want to do like the runners up for these ones as well? We probably can. There's like they don't take that long.
Yeah, sure, with that.
So
this is just this is broken up between top tier, high tier, mid tier, and low tier. I believe top tier, the threshold is anything that costs 20 to 17 points.
Yeah.
High tier is 16 to 13. Mid tier is 12 to 7.
I think it says on the slide actually. So let's
okay,
go.
Cool. And then low tier is
here it is.
Okay, so here we go. Perfect. That makes this easier. So in the Truant division, the top voted top tier Pokemon is actually what I was reading before. I wasn't reading Mega Manectric. I was reading Kaigai's Kyurem with 6 votes. Right behind Kyurem is actually also Kaigai's Sneasler. And in third place with 3 votes is Snivy's Goldengo. All of them made really strong appearances. I think Kaigai's Life Orb Kyurem put in a lot of work, like pretty much every game. I think he ran Scarf and or Specs here or there as well. And yeah, he made it look really good. So congrats to Kaigai for the double victory here, claiming first and second, and for Snivy for sneaking in third as well.
Nice. All right, in the Swarm division, there was in fact another tie for first place.
Let me guess. I'm not going to guess.
Okay. You have the answers. So in first place, I'm gonna guess, and then I'm gonna double check. So in first place, I think we have Impulse's Darkrai and Luke Nukem's Roaring Moon, and it looks like guess. I was correct. They and actually either the chart or the slide is wrong, but one of them says that they got 7 votes, and one of them says that they got 6. I think the chart is right though. Because
I would guess that the chart is right.
The second place is 6 votes. So they probably got 7 votes. That one's actually a guess, is that they got 7 votes. So that's a guess. But we did have the 2-way tie between the Roaring Moon and the Darkrai. And in second place with 6 votes for real, possibly, was Metro's Melmetal, of course. I believe it won last season, so on a bit of a decline from the Metro Melmetal. And then in third place with 4 votes, we have the Garmanitan from Luke.
I wonder if one of Darm or Roaring Moon weren't on the votes, because they're kind of competing for each other, right? Like if Darm wasn't there, for example, do you think Roaring Moon would have had more votes?
It's hard to say, because I think it would be more important like if one of them wasn't on the team, right? Because that Garm could have been on another team and let's say had the same amount of success. You know, it could have taken the same amount of votes.
Yeah, possibly.
I think the fact that they're on the same team, if anything, would have just hurt one of their stats more, you know? Like Garm could have popped off in every game, but Roaring Moon took more of the kills.
Moon was there.
But if he was on a different team, he might have actually gotten more votes if he was doing all the work, right?
Very true.
But
okay.
Yeah.
And Dan?
Over in the Hustle division, we have a 3-way tie for our top tiers.
Oh my god.
Returning to the podium, we have Roaring Moon, coached by Overmat. We have Jortson's Iron Valiant and Sweet Sorrow's Megalopony.
Let's go.
And I think these were
The
all
slowest-
very high on the KO leaders.
The slowest mon being Valiant here in a 3-way tie is pretty fun.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of absurd, isn't it?
And now you can also see why I said that I couldn't fit 4 on one screen. This is very crowded here.
There's room.
There's
Just
room,
shrink
but I
them
have to
down.
shrink
Just
some
squish
of them.
them. Squish them a little.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
all three
Moon
of
really
these got
makes it
6
hard,
votes.
though. He's very wide. And the smaller that you make him, like, you just can't see him. Because his entire body just becomes a little dot. Go on, Lee.
All right. So these 3 all got 6 votes. In second place with 2 votes, we had Trace's Torn Tea. And in third place with 1 vote each was a tie between Alice's Tapu Lele and Monkey Boy's Darkrai.
Wow.
So Darkrai also squeaking into the top to the podium again.
So that's a lot of votes then going towards these top 3 compared to. I mean, they took 6 out of the.
Well, everyone could only vote for 2, right? So that's a lot of the people voting.
Yeah, out of the 22
Fitting
votes that are here, 18 of them went to these 3. So
Yeah.
definitely
Really
very
showed their,
clear-cut winners.
That's
their
a very
definite dominance.
It's a common trend so far with Hustle is that they just have like all these super loaded top tiers that are, or not top tiers, but like top votes that are getting everything. And really, so far, the only one that had a close second place was the Dynamic Duo, or no, was the Megas, where we had 9 votes and 8 votes, and then it jumped down to 3 for third place.
Yeah.
So part of that could be too, like, you know, a lot of Hustle players are mostly the people voting in it. Obviously, anybody can vote in any of them. But when you have the majority of people voting are the best players, they probably are more consistent with recognizing who the top performers are. In those cases, and way less of like a kind of random spread. But at the same time, like, those better players might be more pressured on themselves to be like, oh, well, I can't just not vote for this one. Like, after what I saw him do, like, it's kind of impossible not to vote for this. Whereas other people who only watched a couple games or were just kind of playing for fun, whatever, they might remember that funny moment that, you know, the random mid-tier did that's like, oh, that one's getting my vote, you know, but somebody else doesn't remember that.
Slowpoke moment.
Yeah, well, okay, that's a little different because that one got 10 votes. So that's... But
So
did we go through the second and third? Oh, yeah, you did, because you said
we did.
Right. Yeah.
That's it for the top tier. Up next in the high tier category, for the Truant division, there is actually a 2-way tie for first. With 6 votes each. 6 votes each. And they're both actually from the same roster. We have Zardwai and Walking Wake. And I feel like there's a little interaction here that maybe they might...
God,
both...
Stormtide had such a cool Sun team.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, something's telling me that they boosted each other's efficacy, if you will, throughout the season.
Yeah.
In second with 4 votes.
Not listed.
We have Sweets' Hisuian Arcanine. And in third, with 2 votes, we have Snivy's Rapid Strike Urshifu.
All right. I think just for what it's worth, I think that might be the only time, aside from the dynamic duos, that one coach had both of the, like, a tie for first. We had Kai Guy with first and second, but that's the only time that there's, I think, a tie for first with the same coach.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah, we gotta keep trudging through. So, Swarm Division, we have a coach that is in this call. Lee's Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt is such a cool mon. I mean, he's might be my favorite dragon type because I don't really like a lot of dragon types, and I like him a lot. So
you know what's crazy is I actually, since playing in PGP where Terra Raging Bolt is legal, I forgot this thing is a dragon.
Yeah. Well, it is one of 2 electric. It is one of 2 electric dragon types that got added in like legendaries, I guess. Technically not really legendary, but you know what I mean. In Scarlet and Violet, and it's kind of interesting because it's one of those types they don't really think about because all it adds is a ground weakness for like the dragon type at least, and then you're like adding, you know, some more resists. But like I always sometimes forget like the electric dragon types or like even the water dragon types. You kind of forget their typing sometimes because it's like, oh, they're also a dragon, and he doesn't really.
Yeah, they're electric plus.
Yeah. So, but he's a super sick mon, and I'm glad that Lee did a great job with him. I think he really showed what he can do and why he's such just a massive piece on really any team. So.
You mean Raging Bolt, right?
Huh?
You don't mean Lee?
No, I said Lee. I said
no. He knows what you said. Wait. Don't worry. Move on.
Oh, I know what you said.
Well, Lee, do you have any comments on the Bolt? I mean, like you're holding the trophy in your hand right now. Like, I mean,
Raging Bolt, good mon.
All right. So in second place for high tiers,
click sub.
Well, actually, second and third are actually repeats of mons that we saw in the Mega category. So Mega Garchomp, Royce's Mega Garchomp got 6 votes and was in second place, and Afonso's Mega Swampert had 4 votes in third place for the high tiers. So the Megas.
What you're telling me is that Raging would have won the Mega category if we put it there.
Probably, yeah. It would have looked a lot like this, I would think.
Mega Raikou, after all.
Yeah.
Primal reversion.
It kind of is. Like, that's kind of what the Paradox mons are.
Basically, right?
Well, anyway, next up.
All right, moving over to the Hustle division. In the top tiers, we had another landslide. Yeah, high tier, my bad. We had another landslide capping in with 9 votes here. We have Overmatched Mega Aggron.
But squished.
We've seen this before.
I used the same file that I used for last season's awards when I was going through these. And when I got to this slide, this is the second time in a row that Mega Aggron has won both the Mega category and its tier category. And so when I was just going through and being like, well, this will be the 4th time that I leave this slide untouched, aside from the number of votes. So it's just like, you know what? We're squishing Aggron. And so I just squished him. And then I moved past it. So that's why he looks like that.
In second place with 4 votes was Zeb's Excadrill. And in third place with 3 votes was Max's Terrapagos. I like both. They're both very good.
Excadrill, a bit of a Zeb signature, you know, outside of the obvious signature mon being.
He may be more of a Zeb
Sargumdum's obvious signature mon, Excadrill.
Yeah, you never guess.
Not a single legal Terra Captain as the high tier option.
Lethal says Aggron got body pressed.
Yeah.
It only took 3 quarters.
Is Drill Terra banned?
Yep.
He has to be, right? Yeah, because it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Okay,
Terra pick us
so-
if that were legal.
Not gonna happen. So that caps off our high tier. Now moving on to our mid tier. We're starting to get into more niche picks, more support Pokemon, low tier megas, and things like that.
A lot of my favorite Pokemon fall into this point range.
Yep. Yeah, there's still a lot of viable things to run in here. You just sometimes have to rely on a bit more sauce.
One of the fun parts about draft, though, everyone needs them. Like these are the filler on your team that you really need to solve some things with.
Yeah, unfortunately, these two Pokemon that are tied for first with 6 votes don't have too much sauce to them. They are kind of just there's one consistent body, and there's one. I'd call it a dark horse, actually, in here. A dark horse mega that we don't see very often. We have Sweets' Milotic and Lethal Blue's Mega Pinsir. Lethal really popped off with Pinsir this season. And kind of put it back on the map. Pinsir has really fallen out of favor with a lot of people.
I think in the years I've been in the 3 years I've been at Dex drafting, I think this is the first time I've ever seen it drafted.
Wow. And not only was it drafted, it did really well and won the category, obviously. Whereas on the opposite side, Milotic, there's not too much sauce you can run with it. I guess if you're really spicy, you can run like a Coil or a Dragon Dance setup set. But those are really just memes. For the most part, you'll just be defensive with Flip Turn. And obviously, it was good enough for Sweets that it won the category here. So, congrats to them. In second place, however, there is Carnveer's Mega Beedrill is running it back for another honorable mention, as well as in third, we have Bobozab's Starmie.
And that was 4 votes for the Beedrill and 2 votes for the Starmie.
Yep.
In second and third. All right. Next up in the Swarm division. Oh, I didn't really make a comment about it, but Bolt was a solo first place in Swarm, which is rare because here's another tie. We have 2 winners in Overquill, Afonso's Overquill, and Luke Newcomb's Sinistra.
Okay, I think we're starting to see a theme here of some of the MVPs. We have a lot of Afonso, a lot of Luke, and a lot of Impulse.
Yeah. The thing with Afonso's team and really like weather teams in general, because we've seen a lot of Stormtide in the Truant division as well. With weather teams that are kind of designed to make some of those low tiers shine in a way that they're rain or shine, I guess, in a way that they might not normally shine, but like despite their pricing, is they tend to get more votes for that as well. Mm-hmm. So like you might have a mon that has the rain tax on it, because if you draft rain, it's kind of busted. But if you don't draft rain, it's just a way overpriced low tier. So sometimes they can really, get a lot more votes than a normal mid tier, because really maybe they're creeping more towards that high tier when they do have the rain support or they do have the sun support. So I do think that is part of the reason for that trend. But it's still you're not going to win those votes if you're not doing well with the team. So still did a good job.
True.
And then in second place, we got another Starmie. We got Lee's Starmie with 4 votes.
Go.
By the way, that was 7
Martin
votes,
Starmie?
which you can see on the screen. But just to verify that the number is correct, that was 7 votes for first place, 4 votes for the Starmie in second place. And in third place, we have Hydrapple from Glumlee's team. And
drum roll.
He highlighted in our cheat sheet too.
Ambipom from the Monkey team, from Toadie's team.
Who's that?
The only mon that I have anywhere on this spreadsheet
It was probably the only category that you were able to be voted on, to be honest.
No, I was able to be voted on in Dynamic Duo. I just didn't get any votes. and neither of my Terra Captains were in the Terra Captain voting.
It might be worse that you were able to be voted on and still didn't get anything.
Yeah, I think I was one of the only ones who didn't get one of that.
I do
remember
like that meme of Barack Obama giving himself the medal.
I do remember scrolling through the Terra Captains and like in the individual Terra Captain voting. I think I was the only coach without at least one Terra Captain in that list, and I was like, I gotta put someone in there, right? And then I like looked through it, it's like none of these mons. Like even if I like retroactively did the Terra Captains from before the last minute change, like no, none of those mons would have deserved to get a single vote. It's like, yeah, I'm keeping these off. I don't need the shame of getting 0 votes.
You know what though? It might have been worse if it had 1 vote, because it would have been obvious that you were the only one who voted for yourself.
That's true. That is true. I definitely voted for the Ambipom, and I got 3 votes. So 2 other people agreed with me that the Ambipom actually did something, which it did. I think it's actually the only one that had a positive differential on my team.
Sorry to hear.
So moving on to the Hustle division.
In Hustle, coming in with 7 votes, not a tie, we have Deoxys Defense. DJ Barara really showed the living power with this thing.
Yeah, the defensive prowess.
Wow, it did.
Hey, let's see the defensive.
Yeah, maybe move the slide, brother. I'm stalling here.
I was reading the chat and I heard it scrolled all the way down because I didn't realize how many people were talking. I'm trying to catch up on it. I have 3 monitors and I don't have enough screens even among these just to have everything up.
Oh, what was you?
Yeah, not much to say. This thing is a menace. I think it was a Terra Captain.
Was it?
Or at one point it was. I think he might have changed it.
Maybe, yeah, because I think I marked all the ones on the spreadsheet. I marked them if they were.
It didn't end the season Terra Captain, but I feel like I could have swore this was a Terra Captain, but I might just have my head somewhere it doesn't belong.
Who are his actual Terra Captains?
Moltres and Lycanroc.
I'm trying to recall if I remember if those were originally Terra Captains. We could check.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway. That would be a good thing to track while we're making these polls.
Yes, that is a pretty
if we don't want
benefit.
Who cares? I don't care.
Hey, my Zaru didn't get any votes. I mean, he was a Terra Captain earlier in this year.
Yeah, I wonder why.
In second with 4 votes, we have a 3-way tie of Jortson's Lilligant, Alice's Seismitoad, and Zeb's Talonflame. And
I had a Seismitoad. Why didn't he get any votes?
I'm sure we'll see it eventually.
Wasn't a monkey.
Yeah, but he's a toad.
And in third, with 2 votes, we have Zeb's Gigalith and Trace's Mega Beedrill.
True.
Another Mega Beedrill appearance.
Yeah, Mega Beedrill making a honorable mention again in this tier. Consistently seems to be doing fine.
Yeah, honestly. I'm impressed. And I'm glad that people are drafting Beedrill. I think it's really good.
Yeah. Low tier.
Okay, now on to our low tier category. This may not come to a surprise to a lot of you who remember the season and who remember about 20 minutes ago when we talked about it before. But the overall winner for low tier is Kai Guy's Mega Manectric.
There's an extra slide.
With 7 votes. Yeah, once again, this mon just put up good numbers. It always did what it needed to do. Cleaned up games, got a lot of KOs, and did a lot of really good work.
I was surprised that it was a low tier. I just kind of forgot until I go through the poll results. I was like, damn. That was
I think it's near the threat. I'm pretty sure it's between 7 and 5 points at least. It's probably around
6 is the max for low tier.
So yeah, okay. So it's probably sorry. Yeah, you're right. So it's probably 5 or 6. But yeah, no, Manectric is great. So unfortunately, we don't have a slide for this, but we do have in second place with 5 votes. We have Stormtide's cast form that did come to a game, I believe, and I think it got a KO.
Nice.
Yeah, it did.
And in third place, there is a 2-way tie. One of them, I'm actually surprised that it's this low, because I thought it put in a lot of really good work. But maybe I'm not surprised, because Cast Form is a meme, and Manectric definitely just won the tier.
Yeah.
But with 3 votes, Carnveer's Emolga, that he actually
blown away with what he was. I was blown away with what he was doing with that. It looked real. Yeah,
he was putting in some real good work with Emolga. And it was tied with Bobozab's Wobbuffet.
which also
That-
came to a game and got a KO.
It sure did. That's right. It's not Shadow Tag Wobbuffet. It's what's its ability outside of that? Own tempo,
Telepathy.
telepathy. Great,
So literally nothing in singles.
great.
Yeah. Well, this is an example of. I think the low tiers usually only had like 4 or 5 options, so we'd have like the votes pretty low.
Yeah, there weren't too many low tiers that really came in the season, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah,
No,
but like,
it was hard to even make a voting list for these, honestly.
but the point being that like the Emolga, even though like I also remember that it put in some work, but like when you already have a limited pool of votes and you're competing with a mon that's like just so far and away like clearly the best one there, it's like
And
honestly the fact that there's a pretty even spread at all here says a lot for a low tier, because I feel like usually the low tier categories in any season are very much like, oh, here's the one mon that did something,
Yeah.
or this is the meme mon. It's like
Yeah,
that one
here's
gets
the
like all the
thing.
votes and then everything else gets 1.
Here's the thing that came to more than one game.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that went 1-1. Here's some memes.
Yeah, and then if so 7, 5, and 3 were the vote distribution. That's pretty good for low tiers, I think, especially with a tie for the 3 votes as well. Next in the Sworn division, we have an example of what I just said, which is Fairs' Bramblegast with 9 votes, and then jumping all the way down to 2 votes for a tie because it's Swarm. Audino, Impulse's Audino, and Fairs' Earthworm. So there's Fairs in first and second with the low tiers. And actually, in third place, with 1 vote, we had Fairs' Licky Licky.
This is on this list 3 times.
Fairs has all 3 placements, and then Impulse has a tie in second.
Impulse, get out of here. You're like Slowking. Get off the stage.
And
But
the
honestly,
fact
between-
that... Well, I was going to say, the fact that one of these is 1 vote and one of these is 2 votes, let's say they had 2 votes. Fairs could have voted for his Licky Licky and Earthworm and got them both on the board without doing anything for the Bramblecast.
Yeah.
To just get all 3.
Okay, well, congrats to Fairs and Impulse.
Yeah. But Lee, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say between Fairs and Sweets, I'm almost convinced to believe Bramblegas is real.
He's a good mon. I think he's a
It's
good
pretty cool.
tier. He's
Yeah,
got
I
a lot
agree.
of tools. Just ghost type in general is really nice, like, and something that a lot of teams like to have. And being a spin blocker that has like not only just like decent recovery with strength sap, but also just strength sap in general being like kind of a busted move in some matchups.
Really annoying.
Like it's just like so hard to break through for some people.
Spin blocker with Leech Seed is pretty cool too.
Yeah, just run it like a
Can't do
Whimsicott, honestly.
Yeah.
Just like fast.
Oh, we know how much I love Whimsicott.
Oh, I know. Like sub leech and just an annoying move, doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Over to the hustle. If you remember earlier, the number 1 support mon of this tier had the second most votes in the league, and here in the low tier we have the mon that won the most votes for any category in the league. The number 1 low tier is Riceman Slowpoke. Small this
Slowpoke.
time.
He's taking
I-
a nap, so he's small.
I thought it was funny when you said that. It's like, oh, he's second most votes. I was like, oh wait, yeah, who was first? And then I scrolled down. I was like,
Yeah,
Jesus
you
Christ.
see,
It's just-
that was intentional. But I think it went over your head.
Well, what's funny is at first I saw because so it's not including some of the later categories. So like aside from Mons, there are a
That's
couple
why I
that-
said Pokemon.
yeah, but originally I saw one of the numbers below. I was like, oh, but it's not second. Oh, it's not even second. It's third. But then I saw that. I was like, no way. There's no. It's the same Mon, dude. It's the same Mon. All right, who are our runner-ups?
I don't believe you. In second place for low tier, Riceman again coming in with Rhydon.
These nuts.
Dude
Yeah.
thinks he's Fairs.
Wait till we get to third place.
Third place is not Riceman.
Oh,
Third place is Fennec Masters Cophagrigus.
get off the stage.
I started with that one too.
Yeah, You should have said it
Alomagrigus.
slow. Alomagrigus.
Malola.
That's a good one.
Yeah, low tiers. Rice Man, good work.
Yeah.
Another
Fennec Master 2.
Even though second and third were 5 and 4, jumping from 12 votes, so that's pretty big leap.
So into an entirely different category now, we are moving away from Pokemon awards and moving into Coach Awards. So first up, we have the best draft. So you guys voted on, I guess it's kind of just your feelings. There's not too much, I don't think you can get too analytical about it. There's...
we do that for you at the start of the season.
Yeah, exactly. That's what PRs are for.
Yeah. And some people kind of take this vote differently than others, which is fine. Some people think it's like, oh, who had the best initial draft, who had the best like overall team by the end of everything, like with free agents and trades and all that. So it's up to you, but like it can mean whatever you want. But I think generally the idea still stands and we see that when we have a lot of correlation with some of the top votes.
Yeah. So without further ado, in the Truant division, we have none other than your not champion. Unfortunately, I had him as my champion for Pick'ems. Lethal Blue voted best draft in the Truant division with the Garchomp, Meowscarada, Rotom-Wash, Terra Metagross, Gengar, Terra Incineroar, Cryogonal, Mega Pinsir, and is that Enamorus down there at the very bottom?
Yeah, he kind of snuck in with that one.
Yeah, it was like draft order, I think.
Yeah. That was with 9 votes. In second, we have our actual division leader or division champion. We have Kai Guy with 7 votes, and then tied for third with 6 votes, we have Sweets and Tony. So congrats to those 4, and especially to Lethal for not winning with the best draft.
Nice. I'm gonna ask.
Stole this from Tony. He says it in the chat.
I have a request because one of you had the doc open just a second ago, right? Like the division. Can you open the Swarm division? And I'm gonna read off these names. And would you mind reading through the rosters of these teams? Because as it is Swarm, there is a 3-way tie for first place, and as it is the size of my screen, I couldn't fit the graphics.
Put it on your third monitor.
You have so many monitors, man. I have one monitor.
No. I mean, for the actual graphic, I couldn't put the rosters like I did for the other ones.
So open the dock. I have one monitor.
I just don't have it open. I wasn't gonna have to navigate through it. If somebody already had it open, you know. This is something they can do.
All right. I have it open.
Yeah. Go ahead. We got you. We got Afonso, and we got Royce, all with 7 votes.
All right, my team. I had Raging Bolt, Mega Aerodactyl, Ursaluna Blood Moon, Starmie, Weezinglar, Urshifu Single Strike, Jellicent, Arcanine, Silvally, and Simisage. Afonso had Archaludon, Pelipper, Iron Valiant, Terrapagos, Thundurus, Therian, Kartana, Overquill, Ludicolo, and Mega Swampert. And Royce Snover had Tornadus Therian, Slowbro, Mega Garchomp, Clefable, Rotom-Mow, Terrakion, Chandelure, Registeel, Ariados, and Dunsparce.
And worth noting that one of the winners of the best draft tier is none other than the man who salvaged the draft, Royce Snover.
Something unsalvageable draft. Dark Effie was in chat earlier and posted a copy pasta about the stream being late.
Is he still here?
Unsalvageable stream.
I hope he's still here.
Stream is unsalvageable, unfortunately. Really should have waited on starting, but the people wanted it, and honestly was too good to pass up. Stared at the monitor for like 2 hours, and there's no sequence that results in anything watchable.
Well, they were right about one thing.
Staring at the screen for 2 hours?
I hope. Hold on.
Well, if Royce proved anything, it's that the draft is always salvageable.
Alright. The runners-up for the category, which believe it or not, the second place has 5 votes. 7. There were 3 people that got 7 votes for first place, and in second place still has enough to have 5 votes. This is a very indecisive one. So that was Impulse.
Holy moly!
In second place with 5 votes was Impulse, and in third place with 3 votes is C2. That is a massive vote distribution for best draft.
That's 29 votes right there.
Yeah. So that is that.
Over to the Hustle division. For almost for the third time, this whole thing, we have a tie. Didn't happen much in Hustle this season.
There's not many.
There is a tie for the
Very much a Swarm
best draft
thing.
with. There's a tie for best draft with 8 votes. Overmat and Goater 12. Overmat's Great Tusk Roaring Moon, Mega Aggron, Slow King, Thunderous Therian, Sylveon, Silvally, Shaman, and Lipard. And Goater's Necrozma, Celesteela, Sneasler, Tapu Fini, Zygarde, Miltank, Rillaboom, Colossal, and Jolteon.
I love the Terrarilla.
The Terrarilla on double terrain with Sneasler. Really annoying to prep for, really, honestly. And then Overmat
just bring one of the other trains.
Brought up 8-mon team because Lipard was never coming. No one put Lipard in their prep docs.
Nope.
But the top ones were so good that
dude, Matt didn't even put Lipard in his prep doc.
That's funny.
The one takeaway I'll get from this season is that Matt convinced me Silvally was good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
In second place with 4 votes, we had Sweet Sorrows. And in third place with 3 votes, we had Rice Man.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Great drafts, everybody.
You may see some overlap in these best drafts and our playoff standings.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a little overlap.
There might be.
Especially, like, again, if people are voting based on, like, kind of the end of the season, like, who had the best team. Like, because that's sometimes what people treat it as, just best team vote. So, yeah. Intentional overlap there sometimes. Next up, we have the most honorable opponent. This is the knight in shining armor, and the best example of how someone should respect you when you play Mons.
Yeah, so for the Truant division, we have an excellent example of how honorable guys always bum out in the first round, with Lethal Blue winning the division.
Look at that. Nice guys finish last, am I right?
And ruining my prediction. All good.
So it sounds like he's kind of a jerk if he ruined your prediction.
Yep.
Wow. I kind of want to take this award back. I mean, that's
it says so that was with 6 votes. We do have a tie, actually. I think this is pretty rare as well in Truant. We have a tie for second with 5 votes for Tony and Sweets, and 4 for Stormtide in third. Nice. Very nice that everybody's all kind and hugs and kisses with each other. So maybe not kisses.
I'm checking.
Or hugs.
I was checking some previous stats because I wanted to see something. So, in the Swarm division, we have an example of course, the nice guy finishing first, our winner of the division and of the most honorable award.
Let's go!
This is Lee.
Yeah,
the stat that I was checking, because I remember that the last time that there wasn't a tie in Swarm for first place was also Lee with the Raging Bolt. And the only other time that it happened, because it only happened once. Besides, I wanted to see if it was also Lee, but it wasn't. It was Royce. So it's too bad. But Royce got second. He was in a tie for second place with 5 votes. Royce, Hal Falcons, and C2. And then in third place with 3 votes each, we had Impulse, Metro, that's a lie, and Roy Ace.
Let's go.
So many names.
It always feels like Swarm and Truant are, everybody's very kind to each other, and then I don't think that Hustle is very cutthroat about it by any means, but there seems to be a little bit more camaraderie in the lower divisions a lot of the time.
I think Hustle also has a lot of people who've played together for a long time, so a little more backhanded compliments and stuff like that kind of stuff. Than whereas everyone's trying to be nice and make friends in the lower divisions. So.
A little more jaded.
So speaking of the Hustle division, though.
In the Hustle division, our most honorable coach goes to Fennec Master.
Let's go.
With 6 votes.
A new addition to the division too. Oh wait, I think, right?
Because
Fennec did very well.
Fennec won this award in Swarm last season.
True. Well,
so
and goes to show.
Very honorable.
Yeah.
So coming in with 6 votes, we had Fennec Master. In second place with 5 votes, we had Sweet Sorrows. notable nice guy. And in third place, we had Trace with 3 votes.
Nice. Let's go.
Awesome.
No
It
ties in
is
Hustle.
funny how there's just no ties. Like after all that, it's just like we know who the honorable ones are. That's it. Nobody else.
It's been so long since the season that I actually thought this was Fennec's second time in Hustle.
It has been a while.
It's been a long time.
I think it's since Fennec has been in Swarm though. We did do PGA season 4 and the Castform Cup. So there have been quite a few.
And the Wochen Cup.
Like, yeah, I guess
that was
that's
before
true.
season 4.
But I guess we wouldn't.
Oh yeah, it was.
We wouldn't have known, yeah. But what's worth noting though is that there are 3 people in Hustle who received more than 2 votes for being honorable, because third place is a hard cutoff of 3 votes. And there are 2 people above that. So there's not a lot of honor in Hustle.
No honor, no glory.
So, next up, we have the funniest opponent.
My favorite category, and I don't think this will be a surprise to you. It's not Lethal Blue this time, even though his playoff run was pretty funny.
Lay off him. What the hell?
We actually have in first place with 10 votes, our boy Stormtide, drafting the Avatar team. I'm sorry, Lethal. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. The team was really funny. It was a lot of fun to watch. Even just the nicknames were really fun. So
yeah,
congrats to
and
Stormtide.
he played off of it well, like in the chat too. Like he's that's one of my favorite things about when people do the meme teams too. Is like you just run them with it.
And ousting removing Bobozab from his perch as the funniest player too.
Bobo's got to draft a meme team.
Bobo,
I mean,
he's got to get the meme team. Well, Keel Bobo is iconic. Is a key
but
part
it's old
of
news.
the True division.
It's old news now.
Is it?
He already won.
Well, he still did get second place with 7 votes, and in third place we had Sweets and Krabbit with 3 votes each. I think Krabbit probably just got votes from the Reggie Ice gif.
That was so funny. Also, Lethal Blue is threatening to jump in the call and say slurs.
I don't think he can.
No, I think we're hidden. He could raid my house.
He's gonna swat the house with himself.
Hopping in the chat here. I thought you were saying that that was one of the reasons why Krabbit got 3 votes. I was like, what does this have to do with that?
No.
Yeah. No, for what it's worth, Heel Bobo is still funny. He just needs something fresh. That's what I'm saying. If he wants to win next season, he has to do something fresh.
True.
Speaking of doing something fresh and holding the crown as the funniest, undisputed funniest person in the Swarm division, you have your answer right there.
Get off the stage.
This
Wait, that's
player...
not even what it says on the doc. It says you got last.
No.
I'm also lying.
No, it doesn't say that. It says I got first.
Okay. It says you got first.
Dude, I got 3 votes in the Pokemon section. Please let me have this.
You had to make up for it somewhere.
I did, and I was actually happy to see that. I was like, I still won.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the meme team pays off. I might not get any votes on the Mons, but I do get the votes for the funny. So it works. Second place, this is a lie, Metro Shock with 6 votes. Not funny. All of the jokes that she says are actually jokes that I've fed her. They're not. She's not funny. In third place,
actually 1 and 2.
Toady 2?
Yeah, pretty much. That's actually a good way to think about that. Yeah. In third place, we have Impulse and Royce with 4 votes. So another good distribution there, but you still can't take the crown. That's all there is to it. Moving on to the Hustle division.
Coming in with 9 votes, we have an absolute funniest coach in Hustle.
I think this is also a crown defender, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's Monkey Boy.
Who would have guessed? I love Monkey Boy. I'll say it. I'll be the first Monkey Boy believer.
Wow,
he's the only one with an event after him in the Battle Academy.
That's true. If there is one Monkey Boy believer, that is me. If there are no Monkey Boy believers, it's because he threw his PGP game.
I forgot about the Monkey Boy event.
He's playing for MVP.
He is
There's
playing
no
for
way
VP.
he's throwing.
There's no shot.
Anyway, so Monkey Boy had 9 votes. In second place, we had Sweet Sorrows with 5 votes. And in third place, we had Alice with 3 votes.
Let's go.
Shout out to Alice for providing some of the best emotes from other channels.
It must be the sip emojis.
Yeah.
They're so good.
All right.
Okay, and our final coach award category is the spiciest opponent. For the Troon division, to nobody's surprise, once again, representing the Avatar team, we have Stormtide with 8 votes, taking the crown for spiciest, I think from Itsuki, who probably won it last season.
Did Itsuki
Itsuki
play
hasn't
last
played in a
season?
while.
Mm-hmm.
Itsuki was like a legacy spiciest winner. I feel
Yes.
like because I did
Yes.
notice that when I was going through the votes, like, oh, Itsuki's in a division and didn't win the spiciest title. Interesting.
Well, he did tie for second with 3 votes for the spiciest with Lethal Blue and with Shuckle Supremacy.
Nice. Spelled
And
correctly
in-
now, by the way.
It is spelled correctly now.
Not on our
in-
cheat sheet.
No, it's good.
No,
it's
it
good.
is.
Oh, wait,
It is.
it is good. It's been fixed.
What?
It was wrong for the longest time, like on the docs, like on the regular doc, because the showdown name was also wrong. And I think.
Oh, I'm just saying on our cheat sheet that's not shared, you missed the L in Chuckle.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is wrong. Yeah, I'm looking at the end of the word. All right, that was the part that used to be wrong. Right, there we go.
Anyways,
Shuck-
so
Shuckies.
Ichi, Lethal, and Shuckle each had 3 votes, and Bobozab, Tilt and Tony, and Neon each had 2 for third place.
Nice. All right. In the Swarm division, we have the Gem Merchant, Impulse, with 7
True.
votes as the spiciest
Very true.
player. Which, by the way, I don't know if we said what this category is. I'm sure you guys can probably figure it out. But just to be clear, like the difference between this and like the funniest is this is like sauce on your team.
Yeah,
There's
bring in the
usually
laughter.
some overlap with funniest because like meme teams
Sauce can be
fall into
funny.
this. Yeah, like that's also funny. But it's not exactly the same thing. So
So here we go. Toadie's just explaining why he didn't win this category.
I got second place. All right, and I'm not proud of it. 6 votes, bringing the absolute spiciest sets imaginable. It also,
Atris
and
Annihilate. Ooh.
also possible because there wasn't a lot of room to run real sets.
I'm surprised you even got this many votes.
All right, in third place we had Skyhops with 5 votes. Notably,
Let's go.
Notably less than 6. Just gonna say that.
True.
But we don't compare to 7 because 7, 8, 9 we don't really want to. We don't.
Skyhops always bring some sauce. Was it Skyhops who brought the Curse Petrant? Or was that like the Curse Terra Petrant? Or was that somebody else? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I do
Oh,
remember
well.
some stuff.
Yeah, I think Impulse got really creative with once again the Age Slash sets.
Yeah.
And I also think Terra Suicune was pretty cool too. I don't remember how many times it actually got to pop off, but I think there's a lot of room for creativity there. And yeah, I agree with the award.
Cool.
Moving over to the Hustle division, we have the winner with 6 votes, long-standing spiciest opponent, Crown Holder. I don't think he's ever lost it.
Will never be dethroned.
No,
This is
DJ
probably
Barara.
the most stable crown of all of these.
Since season
Actually, it was
whatever.
close though. This was close.
It
It
was
was-
close.
It was close. There was a 6-5-4 on these votes because second place Zap had 5 votes and third place Fennec had 4. But yeah, DJ Barara, honestly, you can expect him to not bring a traditional set every week before. I'd expect something out of left field before I ever expect like Cosmic Power on a Mew from him. So
True.
It's almost detrimental, like how spicy he is. That like not in the normal way that being too spicy is, but in that like it no longer has the surprise factor. It's just you just know like, all right, we're dealing with something. So
Yeah,
I'll
if
just
anything,
bring
not
something
knowing what to expect has come full circle, and now we know to expect what we don't expect.
We know to expect something not optimal, which makes it easier to just run generally good teams. But that being said, he actually did pretty well this season. He was in playoffs.
Well, he always does, and that's why I think he wins the awards. Is that he's not just running stupid stuff. Like, he's in hustle for a reason.
He proves you can meme in your own league.
Yeah.
So you're saying that I could have won if I actually won a game?
No.
Okay.
If you had won all your games, you still would have lost.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, Barara went 4-4. He was in the mix of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-4s in hustle this season.
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah, we said the other one's cool.
So that does it for our coach awards. It looks like we're skipping a category
it
here.
It skips
and
it on the doc because I added this after.
All good. We're just going to our playoff performance and standings, which you guys, if you were paying attention to playoffs, you would know this, but we did have a challenge bracket going. They should still be open and available on our challenge community. If you look up the Nahyma Battle Academy on challenge, you can still find all of our old tournaments and everything. But we'll just put it up here for you so you don't have to. In first place in the Truant division, we have your boy, Kai Guy, who's actually just came here to the stream.
There we go.
So congrats to Kai Guy, his first season in the NBA and his first victory in the NBA.
You're right on time, Kai Guy.
Yeah. A wizard arrives precisely when he means to and when his name is called.
Even though your Manectric was alone on stage.
Yeah, check out the awards your Manectric won, and your Sneasler won, and your Curum won, and your a lot of stuff won.
You've been on this list a lot, brother.
Yeah. In second place, we did have Stormtide, and in third place in the quarterfinals, we had Tony and Sweets.
Nice.
Semifinals.
Yeah, it's true, semis. Because the runner-up was also
semis, my bad.
So, in the Swarm division, we had our winner here in the call. Mr.
Let's go,
Lee
Peasy!
PP.
Can I get a Gengar Cool in chat?
Yeah, can we get some Gengar Cools in the YouTube chat?
Yeah, do you think YouTube supports Discord emojis?
Not
we are a
generally,
recognized
but
community.
It does do Gengar Cool.
True.
And the runner-up was the, well, somewhat salvageable Royce Snover.
Definitely salvaged the team enough to still not win.
Yeah, the salvage was not complete, but it was partially salvaged.
True, it's still being salvaged. Salvaging is not finished.
True,
it's underway.
That's why the stream took so long, because we were waiting to see if it would finish.
Yeah.
And in third place, we had Afonso and Impulse. The tie to third place, because we don't do a third place match for some reason.
It's funny that those two were the two who people kind of thought would be in the highest contention for winning. Yeah, and they even were talking during the season about, I'll see you in finals, and then neither of them made it.
Yeah, I mean nobody expected. I mean, like, come on, nobody expected. Like, come on, Lee, like really, like, come on, dude.
Of all people,
yeah, dude, actually,
dude, Lee didn't even expect Lee.
Yeah,
I didn't vote for myself. Losing to Impulse in my challenge bracket.
Yeah, well, you really botched that one, didn't you?
I really screwed my points. In the Hustle division, our champion, second-time champion now, is Overmat.
Our first Hustle repeat.
Was it back-to-back? Did he win it last season? Yeah, right.
No,
wait.
Yeah, Riceman won last season, and Overmat won
but
season
was
2.
Riceman in Swarm last season?
Yeah.
No, so Riceman was in Hustle last season.
I think he took
the
over
season before.
Riceman was in Swarm season 2, Hustle season 3.
Okay. So he did.
Overmat 1, Hustle season 2.
Yes, this is
Riceman
Swarm season 3. It was Riceman was in Hustle, Swarm, Hustle, because he didn't sign up and took over for a roster in season 2.
Right.
Yeah,
and then won season 3.
Yeah, because I knew he won season 3. I just couldn't remember if it was Swarm or Hustle.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was Hustle because Rice Man is the GOAT.
It's true. He's my man.
True.
So yeah, the runner-up was Sweet Sorrows, and the third place semifinalists were Rice Man and Alice.
Who's Rice Man?
There we go. My
Good
GOAT.
question.
Is he that truant guy?
Well, Alice had the. Alice, I guess, actually is technically a Hustle vet because she did play in Hustle, but only for I think
Like 2 games.
a couple weeks, like 2 weeks or something, and then had to drop. So she is though the player with the least experience in Hustle, placing the highest compared to the other 3, right? So
Yeah.
So congrats to Alice for making that.
She
good
came
run.
out swinging and like stalling a little bit.
Yeah. And
Oh.
now, a message from our sponsor. And the sponsor is, we're not bringing anyone else into the chat.
Sorry.
But this is our moment to kind of give a shout out to the Cast Form Cup here. So that concluded. That's why the stream is so late. We were waiting for that to conclude. That's why. And
Yeah.
so that draft did conclude. Nahyma, did you have anything you wanted to say in closing for that? Or
For the Cast Form Cup?
Yeah, I don't know if you wanted to say a thing or two. If
Yeah,
not, we
I
can
think
move on.
I think it was a great success. We weren't really sure what we were getting into. It was very experimental, as I'm sure anybody who played in it would know. Obviously, it wasn't that balanced. It was just there for a fun time, and honestly, a fun time was had. So I'll call that a success. Congrats to actually DJ Barara, our spiciest player, cooking up the spiciest meal he could for the Cast Form Cup.
It really kind of is like the perfect rule set for him.
Yeah,
to just
almost
do
any
literally
ability.
whatever he can think of.
Mhm. Yeah, just put on whatever ability you want to these mons and cook something up. So yeah, for sure, it felt like he had home field advantage. I believe Max was the finalist.
Yep, Max was runner up, and third
Yeah,
place
congrats
was
to Max.
Bunhara and Mudkip.
Okay.
So
So
that
yeah,
was the cast.
it was a lot of fun. I think we learned a lot, and I think once again a massive shout out to specifically Stormtide, who really ran the show for the Cast Form Cup. It was all his idea to run an off season. He wanted to do something different. AAA wasn't his primary idea, but the community liked it, and after a vote, it won the poll. So we ran with it, even though it wasn't what his initial idea was, and I think he knocked it out of the park. And there's definitely a learning curve, which I know there's a lot of people in the NBA who also host their own servers. There's a very big learning curve for not just prepping docs or like scheduling or whatever, but just hosting your own tournament, however small or big or whatever. There's a lot to learn, and it's a big responsibility, and I think Stormtide is gaining the experience to be able to do that more comfortably again in the future. So big shout out to him.
I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, as Dondi Sweet Sorrows being support for Stormtide was really great. He's had a little bit more experience running tournaments in the logistics side of it, at least. So I think it was a really good combo, and yeah, the two of them really, really killed it. So I'm proud of both of you guys. Thanks a lot for helping us out for the off season. And here's your paycheck, one Nahyma buck.
Woo!
Don't spend it all in one place.
I'll write that down in the Nahyma buck books.
I had to double check this, so I opened the doc. I hope you're proud of me. So, if you look at the KO leaderboard for the Pokemon, you'll see that in 16th place, there is Morpeko.
Dude, we didn't ask.
And fun fact, he is the only... Hold on. 2 points or something? How much was he? 2 points?
I don't know.
I think he was 2 points.
You would know better than me.
The only 2-point Mon, or less, that was in the top 20. So that I think that's worth a shout out.
Yay! Shout out to Morpeko. Anyways.
You don't sound that thrilled.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
I'm
to move
so
on.
excited for him, especially after I spent the entire season trying to get one sweep with him, and I did at the end of the season. Successful season. All right, let's move on. So this is the bracket challenge. This is kind of going back to what we were talking about with the thing before. I just took screenshots
True.
of it, so it is
I
still
can't
there.
read that. This is a post for
Yeah.
ants. You're gonna have to read that.
Yeah, I didn't put it on the document either. So yeah, we have the winner of the hustle bracket. The other thing with this too is I don't know who made these brackets except for mine. It's the only one that I know who made it.
There's no names.
Yeah, it doesn't say who made it. So if you would like to claim one of these brackets and get your Nahyma bucks, then by all means.
Whoa, why are you putting the Nahyma bucks up for offer here?
It's what we offered when we announced the tournament. Don't you remember?
Yeah, and I take it
6
back.
months ago, like we were
Take back
doing the
seats. Never
bracket
heard of it.
challenge. That's true. Okay, well, take it up with the bank, I guess. So whoever had Overmat Road to Glory, which I can only assume is Overmat because nobody else voted for Overmat, even though we knew he was going to win. So whoever voted for that one, that's the Overmat bracket. And then Mentee Faith. Okay, so this had to be Overmat's, right? Because
Yeah, we can't say Overmat won too.
That's true. He probably didn't win too. That's statistically improbable.
Well, he's not going to watch the stream, so he won't know to claim them.
That's
so.
true. So you're probably said. And then the only other person in here that would be claiming them is me, and I already have your bank account information, so I don't really need them from the award. So anyway, we can move on. Yeah, so we know that Overmat won this one. We don't know who won the hustle one, and then I won this one. So that's my other big win was getting the truant bracket right because I had faith in the content.
What other big win?
Have you forgotten that I'm the funniest person in Swarm?
Oh, how could I?
Last place.
Hey, what we've all been waiting for.
Last place. This is on the doc. You just have to scroll back up.
Yeah.
All right.
We do have now our kind of miscellaneous awards. The I don't know. This is my favorite category. The meme division. The pick the funniest thing and see what comes up. I don't remember what these are for, though, if I'm being honest. You have like the name of the award, but I don't remember what it's for. So
the picture will show.
I hope it says something on the slide. I think it does. With 10 votes, we have the You Ever Been in a Storm Wally Award. So, it's Stormtide's quad weather theme. That's a really funny picture.
What's the scene from Always Sunny? Have you ever been in a storm, Wally?
With
Brawly.
Stormtide's avatar's hair.
Yeah.
The name of the guy.
Brawly.
And that's Wally on the side.
Brawly versus Wally.
Oh my god, it is Brawly versus Wally. That's crazy. Yeah, so that got 10 votes. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Do you have a slide for the runners-up?
I don't, but
well, I don't.
I think I remember.
I
remember what the second one is. The second one was it was scoping out the competition because it's the Empoleon that got like 16 crits in a game.
True.
But I don't remember whose it was because I didn't.
Whoever had
Empoleon. But I'm gonna open up the poll.
Okay.
Itself.
And what about the third?
Third one was do it for the vine was Kai Guy
content.
making content,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was because he won while recording the whole thing.
True based.
Which actually, do I know the rest of them? Maybe I don't need to open this.
Whatever happened to the thing where we had like multiple people record their POVs? Did that ever happen?
We were gonna do it, and then the replays died.
Oh, true.
And so like I couldn't do anything with it because even though like people recorded their perspectives, like I was gonna use the replay for that. I literally told them like crop out the chat and like crop out all this other stuff because all I need is your POV. And then the replays got purged. It's like, well, now I don't have that stuff. So, and then we just never ended up doing it. But it's still something that we can do. But that'll be for
Lethal. I didn't need to roast you. Somebody else roasted you in the quarterfinals.
Good one. I was trying to think. I was like, wait, when were we talking about that? But they're like, oh yeah, dude, you could have been voted the funniest guy who didn't play.
True. I should just put myself in the polls.
Yeah. I got rid of the mod question, but I think people would have voted for Lee again.
I think I probably removed the mod question.
No, I removed it because I was like, we don't need to do it again. Okay. It's gonna be the same result. We already knew. We already knew it was gonna be Lee. So Lee, you won it. Like we didn't even have to put it in, but you won it. Anyway,
I'm the goat.
So where are we? Oh, yeah,
Swarm
those
division.
were the other two. So it was 4 votes for the scoping out the competition, and then 3 votes for do it for the vine.
Yeah.
So next up is the Swarm division, where, well, the draft
The copy
is
pasta.
unsalvageable, unfortunately. Really should have waited
Actual
on slow,
Giga
bro,
Chad
but
voice.
the people wanted it, and the honesty was too good to pass up. Stared at monitor for like 2 hours, and there's no sequence that results in anything playable that I can find, at least. It wouldn't concern me that much, but unfortunately I'm forced to take a spot in Swarm from someone who should actually be here, so I wanted to at least a mildly playable roster. I never noticed the typo. At least a mildly playable roster to not be a total buy every week. Alas. And alas is right. Royce Snover arguably salvaging Dark Effie's draft. And we have
The alas.
the Chad snowboarder. And that's the record, the 5-3 plus 9. So pretty good.
I think that is the
Pretty good.
most votes.
It is. That's actually the most votes
non-Mons.
overall. Like overall 13 votes, that is the most. It's the most universal meme too. Like I think in the division, right? Like I mean in the whole server.
Yeah, in the whole server.
Yeah. So
Something
and
special.
Second place was truly outrageous with 5 votes. That is the gems, or Dear Impulse's gems that he
True.
didn't
Yeah, 3
know were
gems in
legal.
one game.
Yeah, because he didn't know they were legal.
Use
and then,
all of
and then he
them?
shows up with like all of them. Yeah. So, and then in 4th place, will the real monkey boy please stand up?
No. How many
you guys
things
hear
were
that?
there to vote on in last?
Did you hear
Did
me
you stand up?
Yeah, I stood up.
Okay.
I think
How
Discord
many-
probably stuffed it out, but OBS probably heard it. I
How
rolled
many
the chair
things
back
were
really
in this
loud.
category that we could vote on?
There were not that many. I think most of the last place ones were like 5 things.
That's
So-
why you got 4 votes.
Yeah. Well, and one of them was me. So
That's why you got 3 votes.
yeah. So anyway, we'll move on to the Hustle division. And Lee, do you know what this one is?
I know the first place one,
Okay.
and I know
Because I feel like that's like one of the
second
most
place.
vague.
I know
names.
2 of the second place ones.
Oh yeah, you definitely know the second one.
Yeah, so
And I don't
last
remember
place,
the third one either.
landslide win again in Hustle fashion. The Oasis in the Desert Award, Slowpoke walling and KOing Excadrill after Violate got knocked off.
Goodbye.
I had
Just-
to make the Excadrill on the left, by the way. So the one inside the picture was like an existing picture, but I wanted to make the crying face also look like him, so I had to do that.
That
I didn't make
Excadrill
the
mask
slow
is actually
photo.
really funny.
Yeah, I didn't draw that one though. That one's like
Oh,
from like a meme with like Tyranitar in it.
boo.
But that's like what he imagines. That's what he thinks he is.
yeah,
But then he sees the Slowpoke and it's like she's actually crying.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah. Really a hype replay. To go
It was
watch.
the versus Zeb, right? Yeah, Zeb had the
Yeah.
Excadrill.
Yeah, it's his signature.
I think it was
mod.
week
It's in the
it was
name.
week 8 of the regular season, and then they
Oh,
played
true.
again in the first round of the playoffs.
True.
And then after that, Riceman said I can stop bringing Slowpoke.
Yeah.
You really sauced them up.
So there was a 3-way tie for second place, each with 3 votes, by the way.
I
There
don't
was the
think we
mas-
have to go over what each of these, every single one of these are, but
So there was the mascot buff, which was Zeb's KO leader being Zeb.
true. Funny.
The Teacher of the Year award, Overbat winning the division while I also won my division. And who really got burned at the end? I don't know that one.
Oh, that was
Wow.
the Snorlax game, where
Oh, okay.
where he burned the Terra Skeledirge when
Right.
he should have toxiced it and he ended up getting stalled out by it. So
Mm.
that
And in
that
last
was
place was in third, sorry, for the last place was the bit wasn't worth it, which I don't remember.
so really third worst. Is it not the last place? Let's see.
Mhm.
Here's the poll. Here's the poll. That was... we'll find out. Because I remember seeing this one and be like, listen, we need options, so I'm not going to delete this, but I also don't know what it is. Oh, it was... Okay, so the bit wasn't worth it. Was Sweet Sora's first picking Don Dozo on a challenge and immediately trading it.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I mean, it
For
wasn't
what
worth
it's
it, to
worth.
be fair.
For what it's worth, every single one of these 5 options did get votes, and that got 2 votes. So that was the true last place of last place. And since we were curious, I think all of them had 5, but I'll double check. I think there was, 5 in Swarm, and I think there was 5 in Truant. Yep.
Well, there you go. Look at that. So does that conclude our award? I think that does. Now
we have to thank the mods. Everyone, thank your local mods.
Get on your knees and bow that way.
Wait.
Don't get on your knees.
Don't do that.
All right, Nahyma has been outed as the commissioner of the league after controversial comments made on a stream. So I will be taking over.
Nope.
Welcome to the... I don't know what to call it. This is kind of sudden. I wasn't expecting Nahyma to do that. So that's, I don't know. We're all working through this together.
I hope you have a steady income of Nahyma bucks to keep the server afloat.
True.
Discord Nitro
your
ain't
bank
free,
account's
you
in
know.
shambles. I think I'm actually paying for the Discord Nitro.
You probably are.
I think I have both of my boosts on this server.
Perfect.
So yeah, that was like kind of last slide. So here, thanks for a great season, everyone. And this is the time where if you have anything you want to spoil, I don't even know if you know what we're doing next, but if you have anything that you want to talk about as a preview, that is
for NBA Season 5,
fully on the record. Everything you say here will be set in stone. It cannot be changed.
All right, on the record, take this off the record, but Season 5 is confirmed. But we don't know when. Oh.
Sometime sharp.
Sometime sharp. Eventually sharp. So Season 5 will be happening. I had in mind a late September sign-up start. I'm not too sure. There's a lot going on with school and everything right now, so...
No, I'm starting 3rd grade this year.
3rd grade. Aren't you impressed? I can count by 2s and tie my shoes.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. You'll learn that in Unit 3.
Oh, sorry. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It might be early October, mid-October, might be late September. If I have extra free time, we'll see. But Season 5 will be happening, and I've been alluding to it a little bit for the last little while, but we will... maybe not will be. Maybe I'll hold off on this announcement, actually.
I actually don't.
Now I'll just say it. We may be adding soon a new division. And it won't be below Truant. I'll leave it at that.
I was excited. I thought you were going to say we're going to ban Terra, and I was about to be like, yes!
We're going to be banning Toady.
Oh.
You're no longer allowed to Terra.
That's fine. I'll choose not to click it. that really is kind of the end of the stream, though. There's nothing else.
Anyway, here's the Season 5 sign-up doc. No, I'm kidding.
No, it doesn't exist yet. Don't ask for it.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. I don't... Yeah, there's nothing else. So, yeah, thanks again. I know it was kind of short notice. Wait.
Royce said, where's the best mod award? I don't know how long ago he said that, but I did say that Lee would have won it if I did it again, so that's why I didn't do the poll. But Lee wins again.
Lee wins again.
DJ can keep the spiciest opponent crown, but I can't keep the best mod crown.
You do. No, you're keeping it by default. It's actually a level above. I'm saying it's not even worth doing it again.
Oh, it's implied.
Yeah.
It's because of the implication.
Yeah.
We're back on It's Always Sunny, eh?
Yeah.
So thanks again for coming out on such short notice. I had the announcement typed up last night at 7? When were we talking about it?
Yeah.
I was getting off work. It was like 3 after 3.
And then I just didn't post the announcement. So when I was going to bed,
he never hit
check
send.
Discord. Yeah. So whatever.
It's okay. We got some pretty good viewage here.
Yeah, we always got I don't know. The true NBA
Not Valley.
Patriots always
The true
always
NBA
tune in.
Patriots.
So
We
Yeah.
love our true NBA Patriots. Stand up and stand by. I don't remember what the thing was. That's for our
I don't
NBA
remember.
Patriots.
Well,
It's true,
anyways,
you're Canadian,
to
you
everybody who
wouldn't-
tuned
you
in,
didn't
to
experience that.
Fennec Master, Kai Guy, Lethal, Bunhara, Royce, Leezy. Wait a sec.
Yeah,
Lee.
Sweets. Who else is here? We got Rice Man,
We had
I
some
can't
got
type for the
Az.
Zodi, so I have to type sometimes.
Metro.
Wait, we said Fennec.
Yep.
Is that Bunhara? Did we already say Bunhara?
Yep, said her. Tilted Tony.
Race man.
Az was here for a bit.
Sweet.
And
here.
Dark Effie.
Yeah. Yeah.
To everybody who tuned in,
C2.
thank you so much
Did we
for
say
coming out.
C2?
Oh,
I see.
C2 and Stormtide were here as well. Yep, thanks for coming out, folks. And we'll catch you next time. And we should have an announcement in the coming weeks for Season 5.
Let's go.
Yeah. So have a
Peace
good night,
out,
everybody.
everyone.